Hello and welcome to Holiday Travel Watch. My name is Frank Brechning. In this vidcast we're going to look at what happens when you go on holiday to your destination and you find that a significant proportion of the services that you made your contract for are not available. Okay, to illustrate the problem I'm going to talk to you about a particular Holidaymakers case. This involved a couple who went to the Greek islands expecting to go on a cruise. When they arrived at their destination, they found that there were no other holidaymakers on the boat, and in fact there were very few facilities. When they found out the reasons why, they discovered that there had been engine problems with this particular boat for a few weeks before they flew out to their destination. Notwithstanding, the crew of the ship did try to fix the engines, and they set sail. When they were several hours into their journey, they had to pull into the next port because there were continuing problems with the engines, and in any event they spent the next 3 to 4 days effectively in dry dock. The long and the short of it is that these holidaymakers didn't have the holiday, they didn't get to their destination, and there were no facilities on the boat, and certainly there were no other holidaymakers to share their experience. They later found that the holidaymakers that they were supposed to be sharing this cruise with had in fact been told before departure, clearly been given their rights under regulations 12 and 13, and had been allotted to different hotels along the coastline that they were expecting to travel in. Now clearly this couple were very angry when they returned back to the United Kingdom, and in fact this is an experience that's shared by many holidaymakers who come through to us here at Holiday Travel Watch. The rights to help you in that situation are contained under Regulation 14 of the Package Travel Regulations. I'm going to divide those rights up into 2 sections. Firstly, rights that are given to you to enable your holiday to continue, or secondly, what happens if holiday cannot continue or if you refuse the options that are given to you. So, in the first instance, if there is a problem, as in this particular couple's case, where a significant proportion of the services cannot be provided for whatever reason, then they must be reported, you must always report it in fact, to the tour representative if it isn't already apparent, and they must find a solution to this particular problem. This will help the package continue. If you are given a substitute package whilst you're on holiday, they must give you the price difference between that which you paid for and any lesser quality package that they offer. So what happens if it's impossible, for example, to make alternative arrangements, or indeed those arrangements are not accepted by you? Well, if they're not accepted by you, you have to show good reason why you are not going to do so. And secondly, they must fly you back to your original point of departure or to another place that's agreed with you. And in any event, if that is the case, they must also look to providing you, where appropriate, compensation. So those are your rights where a significant proportion of what you've contracted for are just not available. This is probably one of the most difficult areas to deal with because within the package travel regulations it is quite clear that the tour operator must provide you with good service and certainly a good response to the complaints that you make. What I would always say to you in these circumstances is, before you go, always bring a copy of your contract with you so you can see what you contracted for. And secondly, when you're there, make sure that you take photographs and videos, get names and addresses of other holidaymakers so that you can make a quality complaint when you return back to the United Kingdom. So until the next time, have a safe holiday.